Welcome back, all my Central New Yorkers and live stream listeners. You are listening to WSUC 90.5 FM The Dragon, and this is yet another episode of The Huddle with the Real Lil and myself, Kenny C. We got an action-packed show for everybody. Lil, what's going on?
I mean, what can I say? Happy Valentine's Day to everybody out here. You know what I'm saying? Even though I don't mess with that distraction, I'm here in the booth. You know, sports is my Valentine's Day, to be exact, to be honest with you.
That is very true, man. So, sports is my love, as far as I know.
Exactly, and that's why we're here in this booth today, getting ready to give a great show that we got in store for the Central New Yorkers. Can I hear that music? Hey, we gon' party like it's your birthday. Hey, alright, we gotta turn it off right there, because, 50 Cent gonna get us kicked off the airwaves. But anyway,
you do not want that.
With that being said, tell them, Kenny C, what do we got in store for this show today? Because we got a lot of topics.
All right, Lil. So today we're going to be talking about, to start off, the Kareem Hunt and him being signed with Cleveland, and, our opinions on that. Then a little bit about the Antonio Brown trade. And after that, going to, Kyler Murray and Dwayne Haskins, who we think is going to be higher in the draft. And
we got some
there,
baseball.
Yeah, we got some baseball. James Harden or Paul George, who's our pick for MVP. And the NBA and the All-Star game going into the weekend.
Oh, yeah. Can't forget about the All-Star game. Definitely.
It's going to be pretty fun to watch. All the stars there, all the biggest players. Should be pretty action-packed, and I'm definitely excited to see that All-Star game.
Right.
So that's going to be high scoring.
Well, like they say, let's get in the huddle, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so topic number one, we're going to discuss this Kareem Hunt situation. Does Kareem Hunt deserves a second chance after being signed by the Browns, after we all know his domestic violence dispute? Do you believe this brother right here, Kareem Hunt, all right, H-U-N-T, Hunt, deserves a second chance in the NFL?
Honestly, you look at, to start off first, the guy's stats are, undeniable that he's a great player. Prior to the suspension and then being cut by the Chiefs the whole season, he only played 11 games, and this man had 824 yards rushing with 7 touchdowns. That's pretty incredible, and I honestly think he was on track for maybe like an MVP caliber season, and definitely would have been more of a weapon for the Chiefs in the playoffs. And they definitely needed him because, Spencer Ware wasn't doing much at all. So, honestly, the thing is, he committed a crime. He committed assault. He shoved and kicked a woman. We saw it on video last February it happened. And, the reports weren't completely clear. I feel like the public didn't get the whole view of what happened. Yes, obviously he shouldn't have done that whatsoever. But I did hear, from various people that he was called a derogatory term by the woman leading to the attack. I'm not sure how true it is, but bottom line, he still hit a woman, and he's obviously under investigation still by the league. In all honesty, I think it's kind of ridiculous that he's still going to be allowed to play because, as much as Goodell and the league wants to claim, oh, there's no tolerance for these types of things, we can't have this, they suspend the player, this and that, and then the player ends up coming back and being able to play again. Guys who commit crimes are allowed to come back and continue to make thousands and millions of dollars. What do you think about it?
I'll put it to you like this. I believe that the NFL has been nothing short of an inconsistency-based league. All right? They never get things right. All right? They suspend, guys 10 games for substances or a whole season. Then domestic violence, what? You're allowed to get signed right back.
Exactly.
They suspend, they blackball guys, they push guys out the league for taking knees, but yet you can do that. So the NFL is an inconsistency-based league, and with that being said, I do believe that this brother is talented. This dude, Kareem Hunt, obviously, we all know about the talent that he brings to the table.
Without a doubt.
But do I believe he deserves a second chance? I'm 50-50 because people could change, people could mess up.
No,
he
yeah, I agree.
expressed that he was gratitude towards the situation. He called, the Browns when the Browns called him. He made it clear to them that he felt that what he did was wrong and he was going to own that situation. Obviously, Joe Mixon had got a second chance. We all know Joe Mixon, how he was able to be productive in Cincinnati, annoying all the noise, staying out of trouble. That's the most important thing. So if these guys could show that they can rebound from what they did and not go through it again and actually learn from it and stay out of trouble, and because you almost have to be a model citizen after that. You know what I'm saying?
No, there's no doubt that the player is most likely going to come back and continue to perform at that high level, like you said with Mixon. And, like we saw in the past, 2008, Brandon Marshall, he's had 3 domestic violence cases charged against him. But, and he does have a mental illness, as we know. He started a great foundation, raised a lot of money for it, a lot of awareness. He definitely turned his life around. And still, I commend him, for battling through that and being able to have mental illness but still perform great on the field and, stay out of legal trouble. And there's been other, convicted players, like obviously Greg Hardy, the defensive end. He was with the Panthers, and then the Cowboys got him. And he didn't play very long. I think he got into more trouble. And then who else? Didn't we have that guy in the Niners? Was it Bowman? NaVar Bowman, or was it Ahmad Brooks? There was some player in the defense, and they never ended up coming back. Some players just can't bounce back after getting into serious trouble like that. Obviously, like you said with substance abuse, we look at Josh Gordon. That man has incredible talent, fast receiver, great receiver. He did, he was productive for the Patriots.
You look at some of his stats. He has as good of stats than guys that played a full season. When this guy barely played a full season in 4 years, like all those times,
like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, so some guys, they just can't stay out of trouble, and it sucks when guys that have this money, that have these contracts, that have these opportunities, do foolish things and mess that up. But I do believe people deserve second chances. Yeah. To some degree, depending on the situation, depending on how it went down. Obviously, if he comes around and does that again, then obviously he should not be on the NFL roster at all. And you can argue that he shouldn't be on it right now at this time.
I was gonna say, like, I agree with that, Leo. But then it's like it goes to the extent of like, all right, if we give this guy a second chance, all right, let's give this guy a second chance. Give this guy, like, how many second chances can you really give out before the league just becomes a joke? I think Goodell's a fraud. That's why this man gets booed.
Tell him, Kenny C.
This man gets booed every draft. Nobody likes him.
Nobody.
And looking just a little, to give you a little statistics from 2014, I noted that domestic violence was among the top off-the-field problems. And in 2014, there was a recorded 87 total arrests involving about 80 players, and that was over the last 14 years. This is definitely one of the biggest issues in the NFL. And Goodell, you fraud! If you don't get on that, we gotta get this guy out of here, man.
I mean, I've been saying
this man.
I mean, on a Mike and Lil radio show of last semester, I've been saying for long, get this brother out of there. All right, this brother don't know what he's doing. The NFL is inconsistent. All right, we know about the Ray Rice situation. At first it was 2 games.
This man thought it was a boxing ring.
Exactly. All right, it was 2 games at first. Then the take come out, TMZ always lurking in people's business. You always got to make sure TMZ not around you because, you scratch your behind. TMZ is right there to catch that. And then guess what? He changed the story. You was going to give a guy 2 games once you heard it, but seeing it made you, like, it deserves a whole year suspension. At the end of the day, they always inconsistent. My thing is here.
Exactly.
You have guys that are committing crimes that are getting looked at. But when Colin Kaepernick, per se, to do something that he's allowed to do, that is his constitutional right to do, which is take a knee, all right, is no issue. Didn't Tim Tebow used to Tebow? I know it wasn't during the national anthem, but I'm pretty sure. I remember he used to get on his knees. He used to Tebow, and everybody was like, "Oh yeah, Tim Tebow."
But that also, I don't think he was per se reprimanded by the league in terms of like, getting suspended. He was definitely cut by the Niners, I'm pretty sure, and then I think it was just more like of oh, we don't want to look bad type of thing for every team. They didn't want to pick him up.
I think
So,
it's because
I'm two-sided on that because, one, if we want to talk like a little bit about the Kaepernick case, even though it's old news, it's still, relevant.
it's always gonna
It's
be
still
relevant.
it's still relevant.
With all the stuff that
But,
happens in the NFL,
you know,
is gonna be relevant news.
Without a doubt, obviously I support, the whole, Black Lives Matter, all that, and
Power
what
to the
he
people.
stood for.
It's Black
I
History
respect
Month,
that. I
not
respect that.
Valentine's Day. Get
I
that out of
respect
here.
that. But, I feel like the platform that he did it maybe wasn't the best. Just because, when you're kneeling during the anthem kind of stands for like, I feel like more military oriented. So you're kind of like respecting those who serve and like keep us free.
And you know what's crazy?
But I mean, I don't know. I'm
there
double-sided.
there was a person from the military that advised him to do just that.
Wow.
That told him,
I think I read that
to
as-
be
I think I read
peaceful,
that.
to take a knee. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
He clearly said it was not against the military.
Mhm.
He clearly said, first of all, he peacefully protested. He didn't say nothing to nobody. It's when the media came to the locker room and asked what he did, he said, I'm doing this to protest police brutality. Last night, there was a man, I'm sad that I don't remember this guy's name, but there was a guy in the prisons who was missing, and his body's
I read that.
unaccounted for today. Stuff like that is the reason why this brother took a knee. And I'm not blaming him for it. At all.
No, yeah.
At all.
I respect.
Because at the end
his-
of the day,
it's his right.
In order to get your voice heard, in order to get your message across, right? On that type of level, you gotta do something to stir up controversy. That's the only thing that's gonna be able to get to these people's head
I definitely
and get it in
respect
their
that.
headlines. At the end of the day, he had a right. It's not, obviously it's not illegal because he would have been in jail to protest how he felt and get, if he wanted to. Obviously, he wasn't, the brother said he wasn't trying to disrespect the flag. Obviously, we all know how great this country is. But, when you making a statement sometimes, I understand to what you coming from too. I wouldn't have did that, but he did. And he was looking out for a betterment of a community, and I'm right up there with him. I just want to do it.
I certainly agree. Like, obviously it's a national platform. He wants to get recognition for the issue. But then the other side, the reason why I'm two-sided on the whole thing is because, I feel like, yes, he was on the Niners, but his career was like decent, and then once he, wasn't playing as good or he got benched and whatnot, then this happened. I feel like he used the platform as a way to become relevant in the sports world because, then Nike picked him up. He started making millions off that.
I totally disagree.
I feel like he kind of used it as trying to become relevant.
I totally disagree. When you have an opportunity to do what you love on a regular basis, right? For example, radio, me and you, because I see you come in here ready to work,
Yeah, no doubt.
And I'm not trying to throw shots at a lot of people, all right? So, shout out to all the people that I work with before. But when I'm dealing with Kenny C and Kenny C, we doing our show, you always come prepared to work.
I respect
We worked
that,
the
man.
Fire
Me
Mic
too.
Festival. We was out here for 4 hours,
Oh,
5
yeah.
hours
We were
on the
there.
airwaves. You know what I'm saying? Have the people, I'm busy, da da da. You always here to work, I'm always here to work. That's
Of
what's
course,
gonna
man.
make this
Of
show
course.
very good. See, when you love something and you want to do something and you dedicate, you work your whole life to do something, it's hard to find people that are willing to risk that. You know what I'm saying? He literally risked his career. He literally you have to know when you dealing with a bunch of people that really don't care nothing about you, they just making a dollar. You realize when you do stuff like that, it's always going to come with backlash. Ain't nobody going to sit there, throw you up in the air, surfboard you like you in a concert. That's not going to happen. It's always going to come with backlash. So I know for a fact that he didn't do it for publicity. I know people want to throw that out there, and they have a right to.
I was just throwing
but
that out there as
I just feel
an
like
option, like a maybe. It
with the
could-
way
could've
how
been.
this is, he's risking his life more than his career. And when you think about it, you're risking your career and your life. And I know for one thing, for sure, a lot of people won't do that. You have people that will still perform at the halftime shows that are rappers, right? They said they not standing out. I, as a football fan, watched the Super Bowl. I didn't boycott the Super Bowl. People did. I know people that personally boycotted it. I watched it. So there's a lot of people that will not stop what they're doing and what they love. And he did. And he risked that. And, you cannot tell me, I know his career was on the decline. I know that. All right?
Yeah.
But he's better than half the quarterbacks in the NFL. He's better than Peterman. He's better than Buck Fumbleman himself, Mr. Mark Sanchez. He's better than all these other guys. And we forget that this brother was one play away from winning a Super Bowl. You know how many good quarterbacks has never played in a Super Bowl? Phillip Rivers, what are you doing? All these guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to throw a shot at Phillip Rivers, but you know.
Too,
Yeah, I
obviously
don't want
gotta
to
be
throw a shot at
defense.
Phillip Rivers, but I'm just saying Phillip Rivers is a guy per se.
No, yeah.
The 49ers obviously had a good team, but at the end of the day, you have to make the necessary plays in the playoffs to get your team there.
No,
And
it's
he
true.
did. The Ravens, they had an excellent team. They didn't get past the first round. So at the end of the day, you know, with this Kareem Hunt situation, I just believe that, you know, you give guys like these second chances. But when it comes to, you know, other stuff, you totally ignore it. And that just sums up my
No,
opinion.
yeah. You know, I definitely, overall, you know, obviously we sidetracked, but I'm kind of glad we did because, you know, that was a good thing to bring up and to talk about and definitely hear, like, all sides of, you know, what we think and then obviously coming from what other people thought. But, you know, definitely going back to the Hunt thing, overall, I believe in second chances and stuff. But the thing is, like, if the league's going to make policies like that and say, oh, no, we don't tolerate this, no toleration, like, you can't be letting guys play again in the league if you're going to go at first say, oh, we don't stand for this is not going to happen, we can't let this keep happening, and it's still happening. So I feel like the league as a whole, including Goodell, they need to get their stuff together and they need to revise their policies and what's right and what's wrong and, you know, the punishments and stuff.
But the league has shown that they're not about what you do, right? As long as you don't take a knee, then you're good. I mean, as long as you're talented, go ahead, do what you do. You know, at the end of the day, we're going to have to suspend you a little bit because we got to make it seem like we're not tolerating it. But
You know, it's
in all
corrupt,
actuality,
man. It
they're all
really is.
tolerating it.
It's corrupt.
And then for the, you know, for the financial side, as a Browns fan, you know, we can sit here and criticize the Browns, but for the Browns' sake, they a franchise that they've been in the abyss for so many years, and they looking at this like a no-brainer. Let's look at the financial aspect of it.
It's going to help
This
them incredibly.
contract includes $0 in guaranteed money. This contract also includes a roster bonus for every game during the regular season that he's active. All right, the contract is worth a total of $1.1 million, and he might not even get the full $1 million, especially if he gets suspended, because it's based on if he's playing or not.
So he's kind of playing for free in a way?
Yeah,
What
basically
you're
the
saying?
Browns has basically got a talented running back for cheap.
I mean, yeah, looking from a franchise standpoint, of
From a
course,
financial.
that's like an incredible, like,
Obviously, from a moral
to
standpoint,
get,
it's different.
You know, yeah, like, obviously he's a great player. That's going to do nothing but bolster their offense, especially with Baker. Like, I feel like that's going to be
Oh yeah,
electrifying
You know
to
they
watch
still got
from
Nick
a
Chubb.
sports standpoint.
They
Oh,
got a
yeah,
they got a
without a
two
doubt.
running back punch right there, along with Baker Mayfield. Listen, the Browns is going to be a decent team next year. They was already a
Oh, no,
decent team this year.
I
With
have
the
faith
sep-
there'll be playoffs.
With they, I don't know
I
about that. I could see it.
I could definitely see
I could
it.
see
yeah.
it
If they play consistent.
if they play consistent,
Yeah.
because they were 7-9. Half the games they lost was close games that they should have won.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But you know,
All right, Leo. I guess we'll get right on to the next topic. You want to talk James Harden or Paul George for MVP?
who should be MVP?
What do you think? Who's your take? And then we'll talk about both,
Listen.
I guess.
I know Paul George is having a spectacular year.
Mm-hmm.
And to be all factual here, because we are in the huddle, Paul George, this is his best season.
Oh, without a doubt.
This dude, from
He's incredible this season.
his leg injury, you know, he started off slow after coming back from that leg injury. Obviously, you know, you're human. Takes time for you to get settled, to be that player that you once was. But this year, he's fitting in well. And Russell Westbrook, a guy that is a triple-double machine,
Oh,
I just didn't know if that was the best situation for Paul George, because, you know, he's ball dominant.
Mhm.
So Paul George got to get his. But obviously, the first year together, they didn't work.
Oh, they didn't click at all.
But what I
And
said
Melo, too.
was, you know, even though I wanted Paul George to leave because I didn't know if it was gonna work, one thing I did quote was, when you are friends with somebody, and like Paul George and Russell Westbrook are best friends, you are more patient to get that flow going, get that chemistry going, because you both want it. and you both friends and you both hang out
Exactly.
and stuff like that. So you have more patience per se than somebody that you don't even like. Like, oh no, I'm out of here. So Paul George, he's settling down. He's making shots. He's defensively. This brother is
he
he's
leads
out
the league
there.
in steals, 2.3 on average. And then you look at his points. This man dropped like 45 plus the last 2 games. He had 47 on Monday with a triple-double. You know, in his last 10, he's dropped 20 plus points each game, some of them over 30. So, like, without a doubt, this man, in my opinion, you know, then we'll look at Harden's stats. In my opinion, I think George deserves it because last year Harden got it. Harden deserved it last year after he didn't get it the year before. And I feel like this year, it's got to be PG's year. You know, and then Westbrook, 10 straight triple-doubles, helping his team out. You know, you look at both the players, then you got to also look at their teams because isn't that what it comes down to? Which team was like a winning team in the end? And then you pick the player based off that.
I would say this.
Because I know right now the Thunder are 3rd and the Rockets are 5th.
And
so it's
and
going to
the
be
Thunder,
close.
And the Thunder is doing very well. But I would say this, you know, is Paul George the best player on his team? I say yes.
True.
I say yes. But it's a debate because you have a guy over there in Russell Westbrook that is scoring triple doubles, just breaking records all the time. So even though I per se will choose Paul George over Russell Westbrook, you can't underestimate what Russell Westbrook doing. So when you look at the Rockets, who is the best player on the team, and it's clearly James Harden.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Like, you know, Chris Paul, he's averaging 15, 4, and 8. That's solid. He's a great point guard still, but no, without a doubt, man, Harden definitely is leading that team. 30 points a game in 31 straight games. I mean, come on now. That's like undisputed that he's obviously one of the best in the league and the best on his team. And then, you know, I feel like it's just going to be a race to the end. Which team's going to finish better? And overall, stat-wise, obviously that's a huge thing. Who's going to be consistent through the end?
You see, Paul George, he's averaging 28.7 points a game, 4 assists per game. I mean, this is a regular MVP type of season for a player. You know, and same thing I can say with Giannis. I don't even believe Paul George is the second. I'll probably put Giannis over there, but Paul George is right there in the mix.
No, I would put Giannis first.
James Harden, to me, I mean, I know the brother won it last year. I know he was runner-up 2 years prior to last year when he won it. But you gave him the MVP last year, as he so well deserved. He's having a better season than he's ever had. So he was the MVP last year. He's having a better season than last year. He's averaging 36 points a game, 7.7 assists. I mean, just literally one-man show on the Rockets right now. I'm giving him the MVP. I believe he's well deserved it. All right, I know Paul George exactly. I know Paul George is doing good. I know Paul George is having the best season of his career. I know Paul George has been showing that he's clutch. He made that good shot against the 76ers when they won that thriller over there on ABC or 3:30 Eastern, whatever. Not that the time matters, but you know, James Harden, to me, what he's doing, man, I cannot find it humanly possible that this brother do not get the MVP.
No,
I just can't.
It's right now. It really is. It really is close, but you know, I could definitely see a case for Harden without a doubt. Like just from those 30 plus points a game, like this man has been on a roll. No one can stop him. And then obviously we saw inconsistency early in the season for the Rockets. They were looking, you know, pretty bad early on, and then they turned it around, and Harden, you know, took that leadership role, and he has been balling out ever since. Ever since that slump, they've been on the rise. So it's going to be a good race, and I'm eager to see in the comments what people think.
I would say this. All right. Well, first of all, who's your top 3 MVP candidates in order right now, from 1 to 3?
I mean, honestly, from what I just said with George over Harden, just because George is having this crazy season, and we've seen Harden, obviously, season after season be consistently amazing. I'm going to go with Giannis first, just because of the way this man's played and led his team, then George, and then Harden.
Wow, so you have an audience at number 3.
Yeah,
honestly.
I mean, a close second. I'm not gonna say like a definitive 3, but like I'd put George over Harden, but they're very close.
I mean,
in my opinion.
they all three of them well deserving of winning this MVP, and you know, in any other season, they probably each three of them could win it.
Yeah.
It's just that I mean, what Harden is doing is historic.
So you put him number one?
I'm putting him number one. It's historic. I mean, how would I not?
The fact that he's touching Wilt's records, definitely agree
how
with
could
that.
I not put James Harden at number one at what he's doing? It's how he's taking over the league. How he's.
True.
I mean, are you kidding me? 30 points, like for how many straight games? I mean, this brother is unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta put him number one. Number two, I'm going Giannis.
Ooh, so you putting PG at 3.
Yeah, PG 13. You take away the 1, you get 3. Tres.
I like that.
I mean, I gotta put PG at number 3, but Central New York. Let me know how you feel about everything we just talked
For
about.
a fact.
607-753-4819 is the request line that you're gonna call. Once again, 607-753-4819. It's approximately 6:26. We're gonna be back in the next 4 to 5 minutes to talk some more stuff. Football, can't get enough of it.